Ever read an entire article while eating, and remembered absolutely nothing? You're not lazy. Your brain is literally splitting in two. Your brain has limited cognitive bandwidth. When it dedicates resources to eating, especially new or enjoyable food, it pulls them away from memory formation. Think of working memory like a tiny jar. You can only pour so much in before it starts spilling over. Reading moves information into short-term memory. But short-term memory is incredibly fragile. One strong sensory event, like a delicious bite, and it's gone. Taste and smell activate some of the most primal parts of your brain, the same regions responsible for attention and memory consolidation. Memory consolidation is an active process. It requires sustained, uninterrupted neural attention. Food is basically a fire alarm for your hippocampus. Your olfactory system, smell, has a direct highway to your amygdala and hippocampus. When it activates, those memory structures get hijacked. Without food, information moves smoothly into long-term storage. Add food, and the whole system catches fire. Attention is selective. And your ancient survival brain will always prioritize food signals over abstract symbols on a page. Evolution wired you to pay maximum attention to food. It was once literally life or death. Your brain didn't get the memo that you're just eating lunch. When you eat, your brain immediately begins calculating nutritional content, satiety signals, and metabolic adjustments. Reading gets zero processing power. Digestion itself is a cognitive event. Your gut-brain axis sends thousands of signals per minute upward, clogging your mental bandwidth. Long-term memory encoding requires what scientists call elaborative rehearsal. Chewing literally disrupts the rehearsal loop. Reading on your phone while eating is triple jeopardy. Your eyes, your working memory, and your digestion are all competing for the same limited resource, you. The brain is an energy hog. It routes power dynamically. The food processing district gets a surge, and the library district goes dark. Your thalamus acts as the brain's gatekeeper. During intense eating, especially tasty food, it selectively blocks incoming reading data. Pleasurable food triggers a dopamine spike. And dopamine, while great for mood, actually resets and sometimes erases freshly encoded memories. Here's the twist: being hungry also kills memory. Your brain is equally distracted by the anticipation of food as by eating itself. Your rational prefrontal cortex says, keep reading. Your emotional limbic system says, that smells incredible. The limbic system is bigger, older, and always wins. Verbal encoding, turning words into internal speech for memory, gets disrupted by the physical act of chewing, which uses the same jaw and rhythm pathways. Spicy or intense flavors trigger mild stress signals. Your brain enters a low-level alert mode, and alert mode kills passive information absorption. Add ambient restaurant noise or music to eating and reading. You've now created a sensory war zone. The brain retreats to survival mode. Here's the good news: read before you eat. Memories formed before a meal are far more stable. The meal then acts as a natural retention break. Reading complex material, instructions, contracts, technical content, while eating is neurologically catastrophic. Your comprehension can drop by up to 40%. Try reading in intentional bursts between bites. Give your brain 15 seconds of silence to encode each idea before your next mouthful interrupts it. The vagus nerve carries 80% of gut-brain signals upward. Every gurgle, stretch, and gastric movement is being narrated to your brain in real time. This is called the illusion of knowing. The text was visible. Your eyes scanned it. But zero encoding happened. You saw. You did not learn. Studies on dual-task interference show that concurrent eating during reading tasks reduces recall accuracy by 25 to 35% on average. Familiar foods are processed with less cognitive load. If you eat the same boring lunch daily, your brain actually focuses better on reading because the food stops being interesting. Drinking water while reading is the one exception. Hydration actually supports cognitive function. Water plus reading equals the ideal combination. Multiple media sources during a meal is the final boss of cognitive overload. Your hippocampus physically cannot keep up and stops attempting encoding entirely. Small snacks produce less sensory activation than full meals. A handful of nuts while reading is neurologically very different from a 3-course dinner. Closing your eyes for even 5 seconds after reading a key idea dramatically improves retention. You're giving your brain a micro-consolidation window. Working memory capacity is fixed at roughly 4 chunks of information at any time. Eating occupies at least 2. That leaves only 2 for reading. Think about how little that is. Post-meal blood glucose spikes cause a sedation effect in the brain. Even if you want to read after eating, your neural efficiency is at its daily low point. Wait 20 to 30 minutes after a meal before your most important reading. Your blood sugar stabilizes, digestion quiets, and your hippocampus comes back online. Auditory input from crunchy foods is genuinely disruptive. The vibration travels through your jaw to your inner ear, creating internal noise that fragments attention. Taking handwritten notes while reading activates motor cortex pathways that create an additional memory trace. It's not perfect while eating, but it dramatically helps. Reading aloud engages auditory encoding simultaneously with visual encoding. 2 memory pathways are harder for the eating brain to erase than 1. Deep learning requires connecting new information to existing knowledge. This relational step is the first thing to disappear when you add eating to reading. Scrolling news while eating breakfast creates a uniquely inefficient memory loop. You're getting maximum stimulation with minimum retention. It's brain junk food. Highlighting while eating at least creates a visual re-exposure trigger. You won't remember the content, but you'll remember that something was important, and can revisit it. 1 silent minute after a combined eating-reading session salvages more than you'd expect. A short cognitive pause lets your brain play catch-up. Your brain's processing speed drops measurably during eating. Information that normally takes 1 second to encode can take 3 or 4, and the window closes before it arrives. High carbohydrate meals spike insulin, which temporarily impairs hippocampal function. Ironically, the meals that feel most satisfying are worst for reading afterward. Protein-rich meals release tyrosine, a precursor to dopamine and norepinephrine, both key for focused attention. They're your best dietary allies for reading retention. The 1-sentence summary technique is your most powerful weapon. Summarizing forces encoding. Do it between bites, not between pages. Memory has a delayed consolidation phase. Even poorly encoded information from an eating-reading session can strengthen during rest, especially during sleep. The optimal reading strategy: read for 20 minutes before your meal. Eat mindfully and without content. Wait 25 minutes post-meal. Then read again. Your retention triples. Your brain isn't broken. It's brilliantly prioritized. Stop fighting your biology. Work with it, and you'll learn more by eating less of your reading time. Now put the fork down. Finish the chapter first.